The visible outcome is a steady decline in customer complaints and refund claims within warranty systems. Fewer claims are filed, fewer cases are escalated, and the system appears to resolve issues more efficiently. A common explanation is that product quality has improved or that customers are more satisfied. If fewer people complain, the assumption is that fewer problems exist and resolution performance has increased. This explanation holds only if the reporting behavior remains unchanged, but the decline in claims occurs alongside rising effort required to initiate and complete those claims. Claims submission begins to involve more steps, longer waiting periods, and stricter documentation requirements. What appears as improved resolution is paired with a growing barrier to accessing that resolution. If product quality were the true driver, claim difficulty would remain constant while complaints decline. Instead, both decline in claims and increase in procedural friction occur together, creating a mismatch between signal and mechanism. The system is not eliminating defects. It is altering the cost of reporting them. The rule structure shifts by introducing friction into the claim process. Each additional step increases the time and effort required before reimbursement is even considered. This creates a new incentive gradient. The expected value of filing a claim is now reduced by the procedural cost imposed upfront. Claimants respond by evaluating whether the potential reimbursement exceeds the effort required. When the effort outweighs the expected return, rational behavior shifts toward abandonment. This produces a silent adaptation. Claims are not rejected, they are never completed. As more claimants abandon the process early, active claim volume declines. The system registers fewer complaints without needing to process or deny them. This creates an apparent improvement in resolution metrics. Lower claim counts are interpreted as fewer issues, reinforcing the perception of system efficiency. At the same time, providers experience immediate cost relief. Fewer reimbursements are issued and escalation workloads decrease. This cost reduction is not driven by fewer defects. It is driven by fewer completed claims entering the system. The signal being measured, complaint volume, diverges from the underlying reality of product performance. The system begins optimizing for reduced claims rather than resolved issues. As this pattern stabilizes, administrative processes align around maintaining low claim visibility. Procedural friction becomes embedded as a standard operating condition. Claimants adapt further by avoiding the system altogether. Instead of escalating issues, they absorb the loss or seek alternatives outside the warranty process. This reduces the feedback loop that would normally inform the provider about product defects. Fewer signals reach the system, limiting its ability to detect underlying problems. Over time, the system locks into a low claim equilibrium. Low complaint volume is sustained, but it reflects abandonment rather than resolution. As the volume of completed claims declines, internal reporting systems begin to treat low claim rates as a stable baseline. What was initially a response to friction becomes encoded as expected system performance, tightening reliance on suppressed signals. Operational dashboards continue to register fewer active issues, reinforcing the assumption that current processes are effective. This reduces pressure to revisit claim procedures, locking the system further into friction-based filtering. Over time, the cost structure of the system adjusts around reduced reimbursement outflows. Lower payout levels become incorporated into financial expectations, increasing resistance to any reversal of the process. This creates a time horizon mismatch. Short-term administrative relief is realized immediately, while the underlying erosion of trust accumulates without immediate visibility. Because abandoned claims do not generate completed records, they do not enter formal reporting pipelines. This creates an information asymmetry, where the system observes fewer problems than actually exist. As this asymmetry persists, decision-making shifts to rely on incomplete data. System adjustments are made based on reduced complaint signals, further aligning operations with distorted information. The absence of visible claims reduces the perceived urgency of addressing product defects. Maintenance, quality control, and service improvement efforts are deprioritized as the system reads stability instead of friction. This amplifies the original mechanism. As defects remain unaddressed, the potential volume of legitimate claims increases, but the friction barrier continues to suppress their visibility. At scale, the gap between real defect incidents and recorded claims widens. The system becomes increasingly calibrated to an artificial signal, reinforcing low claim stability. Claimants encountering repeated friction begin to anticipate the outcome of the process. Instead of initiating claims, they preemptively opt out, accelerating abandonment before the system is even engaged. This reduces the feedback loop further. Fewer interactions occur within the claim system, limiting any opportunity for corrective signals to surface. Administrative processes adapt to this reduced interaction environment. Resources shift away from handling claims toward maintaining procedural structures that sustain low claim throughput. The system now depends on the continued presence of friction to preserve its apparent efficiency. Removing friction would expose the underlying volume of unresolved issues, creating a dependency on the distortion itself. This dependency introduces a structural lock-in. Any attempt to simplify the claim process would immediately increase visible claims, appearing as a system deterioration. As a result, the system becomes resistant to change, even when underlying conditions worsen. Stability is maintained not by resolving issues, but by preventing them from being recorded. There is a moment of analytical tension here. The system cannot distinguish whether low claim volume reflects genuine improvement or successful suppression, yet it must act as if the signal is reliable. This uncertainty does not disrupt the system. Instead, it reinforces conservative behavior, maintaining existing procedures to avoid exposing hidden instability. Over time, the equilibrium becomes self-reinforcing. Low recorded claims justify the continuation of friction, and friction ensures that claims remain low. In the earlier state, the system rewarded the submission and resolution of claims as a signal of product performance. Under the new structure, the system rewards the absence of claims, regardless of whether underlying issues persist, shifting behavior toward non-engagement. What is now penalized is not the existence of defects, but the completion of the claim process itself. The cost is imposed on claimants through friction, making abandonment the dominant response under the new incentive structure. As a result, the system no longer depends on resolving problems to maintain stability. It depends on limiting the number of problems that are formally recorded, narrowing the range of observable outcomes. Future actions are constrained by this configuration. Both provider and claimant operate within a system where reduced visibility is treated as improvement, reinforcing behavior that sustains low claim stability.